For many of us, credit cards are part of everyday life. When you first get your shiny new car, the balance is zero. Few months and many purchases later, the balance seems to grow and take on a life of its own. It's shocking to learn that America's credit card debt hit a record $1 trillion, which on average is almost $8,000 for each household. What happened?
I just don't have $25.
Put it on your credit card.
Those small purchases add up over time, and in the meantime, the minimum payments you're making are not keeping the balance down, especially with today's high interest rate. A study shows 43% of credit card debt holders only pay minimum amount owed each month. For the average household credit card balance of $8,000 at 24% APY, making only minimum payment each month, it would take 332 months, roughly 27 and a half years, just to pay off the $8,000. In that time, you will also pay $15,332 in interest. And just the interest alone is almost double of your purchase. The $8,000 purchase is costing you $23,000 in total, and that can feel like running on a hamster wheel you can't seem to get off. If you're stuck under a mountain of credit card debt, it can feel trapped. There are ways you can dig yourself out of this hole, and in today's video, we will talk about 5 steps you can take to attack your debt. Step 1. Stop using credit cards. Like the bad boy or the mean girl you probably dated in high school, your credit card has control over you. You need to break up with your credit card once and for all. Your credit cards are the reasons you got into this mess in the first place. This is what Mark Cuban has to say about credit cards.
If you use your credit cards, you do not want to be rich. And people then they ask me, well, where's the best place to invest? I said, the best place to invest is to pay off all your credit cards and burn them. Because your credit card, you know what your return is, right? If you get off, you're paying 15, 20% interest in one way or the other. And if you pay that down, you just earn 15 or 20%.
If you want to be rich, you first need to cut ties so they don't keep pulling you down. I mean, literally, take those cards out of your wallet and cut those cards up. Switch to cash only. While you're paying down debt, it could be helpful to pay for things in cash. That way, you don't increase your credit card balance. And if you need to use a card for payment, use a debit card instead, so you're not borrowing more money. Step 2, understand your debt and your income. Before you can confront this problem head-on, you have to first diagnose the situation, what your balance owed, and the interest rate you're paying. What are all the fees associated with this debt? You also need to know how much money is coming into your account and exactly how much of that you're spending. Step 3, track your spending. Go over your credit card statements from the past few months. Track your spendings and find patterns in your habits. It's normal to swipe that credit card without even thinking twice about it. $7 Frappuccino, $15 avocado toast, or $30 happy hour drinks. They're not going to make a huge difference in the moment, but if done frequently and mindlessly, they add up to a significant amount of money. It's important to track your spending so you're more conscious about it. Make a list of all of your spendings and separate them into 2 categories, the needs and the wants. Needs are essentials such as minimum grocery budget, insurance, utilities, or housing payment. This is the baseline of what you need to survive, and they're non-negotiables. Wants are lifestyle expenses like dining out with friends or a new t-shirt from Supreme. This will be the start of your new budget. If you really want to get rid of that credit card debt, you need a plan for your money, and I'm talking every single dollar. You are going to take control and tell that money what to do and where to go. Step 4, cut expenses. Look at your list of needs and wants and see how you can cut expenses from the want list. This can feel really painful, especially if you're used to just charging everything to a credit card. But remember, your goal is to get out of debt, and that's going to take some discipline. Ask yourself, do you need all 3 subscriptions of Hulu, Netflix, and Disney+? Maybe you can learn to meal prep and save money by buying generic brands. If you don't need 2 cars, sell one of them. Every little bit you cut out adds up to help get you out of debt faster. Now, just because you're cutting down expenses, it doesn't mean that you can't have fun. You just need to be creative and find cheaper alternatives. Instead of going out to bars for drinks, invite your friends over for a BYOB gathering. Step 5. Make more money. If you don't have enough income to meet your daily needs, it can be tempting to rely on credit cards. But this is not a sustainable solution, and there is no way around this. The only way to dig yourself out of this situation is to make more money. Ask for a raise or work overtime at your current job. Pick up a side hustle like driving for Uber or delivering for Instacart. See if you can resell your stuff on eBay or Facebook Marketplace. This will take more energy and time in the short term, but in the long run, all this will pay off significantly. Step 6. Pay off debt. When it comes to credit card debt, there is one rule you need to follow, which is always make sure that you're making the minimum payments across all of your debts, because it's important to keep your credit score intact. Then with all the money that you're able to save from cutting expenses and earning additional income, you put them toward paying down debt. And there are two popular methods to pay off debt. One is called the Avalanche method, and the other is called the Snowball method. The Avalanche method, you pay your debt off in order from the highest interest rate to the lowest interest rate, regardless of the balance. For example, let's say you have a hotel Visa card with $2,500 at 21%, an airline MasterCard with $1,000 at 18%, an American Express card with $4,500 at 24%. In the Avalanche method, you are going to put the extra money toward paying off the American Express card first because it has a 24% interest rate. Once that's paid off, you move on to the hotel Visa card and then the airline MasterCard. Whereas the Snowball method, you pay off your smallest balance first and then work your way up to the largest balance. Using the same scenario, you're going to be paying off the airline MasterCard first because it has the lowest balance at $1,000, then the Visa card with $2,500, and finally the American Express with $4,500. And which method should you use? Mathematically speaking, the most efficient method is the Avalanche method because you put your extra payment toward its best use. Let's say after cutting expenses and picking up a side hustle, you're able to put an additional $100 toward paying down your debt. With the Avalanche method, you can pay off the $8,000 debt in 36 months. You end up paying $2,824 in interest on top of your principal balance. And if you use the Snowball method, you would pay off all your debt in 37 months and you would pay $3,064 in interest. That's a $240 savings. So it's financially more efficient to do the Avalanche method. The downside of the Avalanche method is that it can be hard to stay motivated, especially the one with the highest interest rate also has a huge balance. Sometimes that can be more of a behavior problem than a math problem. You may need help to stay motivated in order to change your behavior and get out of debt. The Snowball method can be psychologically empowering because with each smaller debt you successfully knock out, it gives you more momentum to keep going and stick with it long term. Personally, I believe either method will help you pay off debt and reach financial independence. Both method works as long as you make progress and stay disciplined. I highly recommend that you use the Vertex 42 Excel calculator to see how much money you can save. There are other methods to deal with credit card debts, such as debt consolidation and balance transfer. With these methods, you combine several debts into one monthly payment for a streamlined payoff plan. Personally, I do not recommend these methods because you're simply shuffling debts around instead of paying down your balance. And sometimes you even end up paying more when it's said and done with all the fees and interest payments. Let's be honest, if you're struggling with credit card debt, moving your debts around won't do you any good. You still have to do the hard work to pay it off. So I recommend using either the Avalanche method or the Snowball method to get out of debt. Paying off credit card debt can feel daunting, but with consistency and an effective plan, you can take small steps to improve your situation. Make it a priority to put every single spare dollar you have toward paying down your debt. The important thing is to stay the course until your debt is paid off. Thank you for watching. If you find this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and share it with someone that can benefit. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this. See you in the next one.